Some people don't understand the concept of daily winning. It is possible because some people don't understand winning as a daily outcome until now. Here at Champions for Life podcast, we give you ways to understand how to reverse your thinking about winning. That yes, you can, and that it is possible to experience daily winning. In small but powerful ways, you will begin to change your life and become the champion for life you have envisioned for yourself. Hi, I'm Jana. You will be listening to JDC, my husband, a father of 6, martial artist, entrepreneur, a servant of Jesus Christ, and a tough love kind of guy who will share with you experience, wisdom, and ways you can overcome any challenge in your life. So get ready to be inspired, encouraged, and motivated to take decisive action.
Hi, good afternoon. We have here Ms Mel at Sovereign Martial Arts, and we're gonna just go over some things here about why she's so excited about Sovereign. And before you share any of those good things, Ms Mel, tell us who you are and how you came across Sovereign.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Melanie. I live here in Rahway. I am a teacher, a public school teacher, and I am very in tuned and focused on discipline and students making most, or children on a whole, making most of all their opportunities. So it has always been my dream to enroll my son Justin in the martial arts. One of the main reasons too, outside of having him become focused and getting all the opportunities that I didn't have, is the fact that my parents weren't able to provide that, and they saw that as an important tool, not just to do sports, but to study the martial arts. So fast forward to 2013, the plan was for us to enroll Justin in the martial arts. However, we decided that maybe first grade would be a good time. But then during kindergarten, Justin was quite busy, a busybody, finished all his work and would move around the classroom teaching all the other kids and trying to do the teacher's job. To the point where the teacher and the assistant said that maybe Justin would be tested for having ADHD. Now, as an educator, I wasn't in denial, but I knew right there and then that Justin did not have ADHD. Justin was just bored, simply because Justin started reading at age 2. Justin knew all that was being done in class, and not much was being done to stimulate him after his work was completed. Not judging anyone, because it was a full class, a class of I think 25 students at that point before they made changes. It got so bad that they had to split the students into 3 groups. So we decided, you know what, Justin needs to go early to martial arts to get his focus right and to understand how to interact without being a disturbance. So we started looking online, didn't see anything. And then one day walking downtown Rahway, we saw the sign and decided to inquire. And of course, Justin was excited, very excited to start. And we enrolled Justin after he passed the preliminary test, which was a little challenge because he was busy then too. But he did well enough to be registered and to be part of the Sovereign family. And that's where the journey began, and we haven't regretted it. And it's almost 7 years, and we're still going strong. Sovereign.
Wow, that is so powerful. I imagine if you were this kind of mom that was like, oh, okay, he has ADHD, ADD, and we would have lost, I think, so much of him.
Mm-hmm.
he's such an amazing young leader with an amazing, bright future.
Thank you,
You know,
sir.
I chose him to do the interviews
Mm-hmm.
for the junior black belt leaders, and everybody raves about how he did it. And just
Wow.
yeah, and when you see him, he's like a real professional, like amazing. This kid is gifted beyond. Okay, he has a cluster of giftings,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets me excited to be around him and to experience him and all of that. And what a great thing that you as a parent didn't go, oh, okay, let me get him, in the medication and accepted it, but rather you understood, again,
Yeah.
as an educator that you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you said, you know what, this kid is brighter than people can imagine.
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
a leader, if you don't challenge them, they're gone. They're
Yeah.
gone. And that's him. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much inside that kid that every time I get him around me, I pull out more from him. I
Right.
want to stretch him, and because that's what he needs. He thrives on that, and he's
Mm-hmm.
amazing at it. So I'm excited that you made that decision, that you found us, and you made us your home, so to
Yes.
speak, right?
Mm-hmm. Or
So
second home.
your second home, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like a family. In fact, this morning we were talking in our team meeting how exciting it is that, we're about the families, you know, because
Yes.
if you destroy the family, you destroy a community. And so we want
Absolutely.
to rebuild families.
Mm-hmm.
And, you fit the bill, right? You're that family that is awesome. You got your husband, your wife, your kid, and you work together and you're in alignment and all of these things. And there's no wonder how well he thrives. It's all
Yes.
about the family. So I'm
Yes.
excited for that too. So tell us, uh, how did you decide? Well, I'm in the sidelines here, watching him and getting excited because I remember one day, if you want to talk a little bit about this, he said, "Mommy, you got to take me to karate because you're paying for it, right?"
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, and then how did that lead you to then later say, you know what, I think I should be doing this too?
Okay. So I remember getting home from work, picking him up from the sitter, and I was exhausted. So I'm the one who does the afternoon shift, and my husband does mornings, takes him to school and makes sure everything is well for the morning. So I am home earlier. My husband gets home at night. So I said, oh my God, I have to cook. I have papers to grade. I'm studying too. So I have my studies you know. And I said, Justin, I'm really tired. And he said, Mommy, tell me, what is the point? You guys are paying for it and you're not taking me. If you're not going to take me, then don't pay for it because it makes no sense. You tell me to work hard and to persevere, but then you're not
Wow.
taking me. So that
Wisdom from at that time, how old was he?
he was, I think, 7, 6 or 7.
Wisdom from a 7-year, unbelievable, right?
Yes, he said,
Amazing.
you're like other parents. And he named some parents.
Woo! Talk about they watch, right? They
Yes,
watch and they say that doesn't make sense. And this is a good for parents to hear because we want to be the role model for our kids. But if we
yes,
don't step up to that place, they're gonna
yes,
find a different one.
yes. But he's not afraid to call us out in a respectful way.
Yes, for
So when
sure.
I heard that, I dropped my bags and I said, you know what? Let's go. So I
Wow.
took him. I remember taking a ripe banana and putting it in my purse to say, okay, I'll have that while he takes class. And then I remember after that, each time, like there would be a meeting at work, and I'm like, oh my God, by the time I get home, I'm not going to make it. But I pushed so hard. And even now, up until quarantine, I really pushed to get home to make sure. I remember one summer I had courses that I had to take for work. And we were trying to figure out what would we do with him. The grandparents couldn't come at that point. So I remember we paid somebody that we found through Rawway Fried Chicken that we knew years ago from Ralph's to pick him up from the house and take him to class.
Yes, I
Then,
remember that. Yes.
yes, just to make sure because he would have no nonsense, it was a no nonsense approach to being there. But then he said, Mommy, you need to start taking class. You're the only one in the house who doesn't know anything about martial arts, and you work in a rough neighborhood. So you need to do it because Dad can take care of himself. Dad has martial arts experience. Dad is a veteran, so he did a lot of combat training. So what about you? So I said, yes, I'll join. And I kept procrastinating. And I said, I like to be there to support you. He said, you can support me on the mat, Mommy. You don't have to be sitting on the bench. So in 2018, unfortunately, my mom passed after a long bout of illness with cancer. And that really took a toll on me. Then my grandmother passed like within a month and a half.
Yes, that's right.
And then someone that my mom really adopted, who was like a little brother to me, he was killed. So between August 1st and September 15th, we had 3 deaths. So I went into depression, but it seemed as if it was on the surface because nobody could ever tell.
You were functionally depressed. Yeah.
Right, functionally depressed. I went to work, and then the school nurse told me that I needed to take FMLA and also to get my mind right. And everyone suggested going to a therapist, a grief therapist. So I found one and I started the therapy. And as I started the therapy, she said, Melonie, I enjoy being with you every week. I enjoy learning about you because you are so different from all the other people that come here. Because despite your grief, you're so positive, but I'm afraid I can't help you the way I would like to. Wow. So I would suggest that you take medication. And I said, I don't even take painkillers. Wow. I have to be really sick. The only thing I take is my vitamins, my iron, and so on, but I don't take medicine. So she said, okay, I'll write the prescription, but maybe try yoga. I don't know much about yoga. I opted to do martial arts. I said, you know what? Justin is doing well. He has been thriving. So, okay, let's see what I can do. And he said, Mommy, I'll help you. And my husband said, I'll help you. You'll be fine.
See how beautiful that is. That's so powerful.
Yes. And then my brothers were like, yes, do it. You can do it. My dad, everyone was like, you can do it. My friends at work too supported me, and I decided, okay. And Sensei Jana was outlining, what it will do for me. And that really pushed me, and I started. Many people didn't think I would.
Look at you now.
Yes, but believe it or not, when the transformation started was when I started getting into the classes and realizing that I could go to work. I wasn't just working and pushing because it didn't affect my job. The grief didn't affect my job. I made sure it didn't. But I realized that the joy I had was coming back. So the passion was more evident, my smile, being bouncy, running up the stairs, running down the stairs quickly, doing everything, as I would have been doing before the grief. And then people started asking. There's a social worker, she works at my school, and she would be like, how are you? If you need me, just come. I'm always here. But then she noticed I would just be, hi, I'm good, and be talking. And she's like, you're okay? So I said, yes, I started martial arts. And she said, well, I'm seeing your progress because you're smiling. You're not looking as droopy as you normally would.
Yeah.
And so I just thought of it that, well, this is where I really need to be, because it's helping. And so I went back to the counselor, and she said, well, you don't have to come every week. When you need me, when you feel like you need to discuss something, even if it's stress at work, you can come. But I see that you're making good progress. And after going that time and hearing her tell me that, it's like my mind went through some kind of transformation where I realized that it was evident. It wasn't just something in my mindset telling me that, okay, I'm better, but I was actually getting better, and it was obvious to everyone. So,
Wow.
you know, those family members in the United Kingdom, those in Canada, all over, they weren't as worried as they were, especially when I took videos and I showed them like my first belt. After
Wow.
the belt test, I sent the pictures to everyone. So they realized, okay, that's pretty good. So I noticed I started getting less calls from family members asking, you're okay? Oh, you'll be all right. I'm praying. You know, they weren't as worried. And I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
That
And
is
of
awesome.
course, I challenge myself because I know that Justin is on my back daily telling me, oh, mommy, you can't make me look bad. That's,
Come
you
on,
have
mommy,
to
you
learn.
represent me here.
Yes, you have to learn your katas. You have to exercise. So I'm running with him now. You know,
Wow.
yes,
How
I'm
beautiful.
running with him and working out and listening, you know, to him. But um, the good thing about it is that when we're transformed, we have to share that transformation. You know, when people are actually asking, you know, wow, you're happier, you look good, you look well, what's going on? So some of my friends have taken the initiative not to do martial arts, but to think more about their mind and their body, you know, their mental health, their
Yes.
physical
Yes.
health. So that's a good thing.
That is so awesome. What a beautiful story, you know,
Yeah.
and to do it as a family, which is amazing.
Yes.
So what is the one thing that can jump into right into the front of your mind right now that you say, this is the one thing I am so grateful for being here at Sovereign.
There's so many things that I could think of, but the one thing that really got me at first was um, the leadership focus that it gives children and adults, because I too learn things, not because I'm an educator, not because I am older, but the leadership focus. And I say not just leadership, but leadership focus, because learning the martial arts in a context or in several contexts put you in that leadership focus. So you're focusing on leading, and you're focusing on your goals. Because if I were to break it down, like for Justin, yes, he has been a leader since, you know, he has been moving around, but he's learning how to own it.
Wow.
He's learning how to utilize it, and it's become like a virus because other children are catching on to it. I spoke with his teacher on Friday, the last day, since they didn't have their moving up ceremony to move on to the academy, the 7th and 8th grade academy. They picked up their certificates and so on. And she wrote in his yearbook that she's really going to miss him and all the conversations they had. Because she said we would have deep conversations.
He's
And
very bright. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
she said he talks. And when he talks, I said, oh my Lord. She said, no, not to disrupt me, but I learned from him. Those conversations made me a better person. And right there and then, listening to her, you know, surrounded by other people and people getting our attention. We didn't go into details, but I thought to myself about how much of a leader Justin has become from kinder, you know, when, oh, he has to be tested because he's not doing what he's supposed to do, he's
Wow.
out of his seat, compared to now when his principal is saying you continue to smile. She said he always greets her with a smile and very polite and so on. And she knows he will do very well. She expects him to do very well. You know, and
Amazing.
listening to teachers from kinder right up. And even the kindergarten teacher, she's no longer in the district, she's in California. But she said, maybe a month after, she was like, "What's going on with Justin?" And the aide asked, "Are you slapping him?" I said, "No, we're not slapping him. He's in martial arts." And she said, "We're seeing a change." And I was a class mom then. So being the class mom, I would go there often and I saw for myself. But just thinking back now, Sheehan, 7 years later, to see how he has been molded, not just by us at home, but because of the village, you know, because of what the martial arts has done for him. And
Yes.
I've said to several people, I like the idea, yes, you kick and you punch and you learn to defend yourself and everything, but there has to be more. So that leadership focus has helped him and will continue to help him to be that leader. He used to be in recess and kids would say, "What game are we playing today, Justin?"
Wow.
And I'm like, I asked him, I said, "Why do they have to ask you?" And he's like, "Mommy, because I'm the one in charge. So everybody comes to me. If someone wants to join his group, can I join your group?" When
Wow.
he wasn't at school one day, his friend said, "We missed you because we didn't know what game to play."
Wow.
And that was first grade.
Wow.
You know, so when you look at all the different things, and no, he doesn't do any other sport, he's not involved in anything else but the martial arts. It has really, you know, directed his life to that point where he can be an example for others, and we can trust that his integrity will prevail. You know, we
Yes.
don't have to chase him or say, "Okay, do this, do that." I remember some time ago, I think it was about his push-ups. I was on the train home and I said, "Make sure you're doing your push-ups, but wait, because I have to see it." He said, "Mommy, come on, I have integrity." And yes, we teach integrity at home, but we don't say, "Listen, integrity is this." We say, "No, don't do that, don't do this." But being in the leadership classes and hearing, "Oh, this is integrity and this is what integrity does," helps him to connect the dots.
Yes. Yes. And what it looks like and all of that.
Right. So
Yeah.
that leadership focus is the first thing that jumps out for me.
Wow.
Mhm.
Powerful. Powerful. Great,
Yes.
great time, great conversation, great sharing. I am excited that your whole family is not just part of, but you're integrated in your family for real. To
Yes.
us, we look at you and think of you and your family. We're like family. It's a
Likewise.
little bit beyond the you know they're dedicated raving fans of Sovereign. You're like family,
Yeah.
and it's a
Mm-hmm.
delight to be able to share a mentor and guide your son because he's like my son, you know,
Right. Mhm.
and everybody loves him because of his leadership qualities. Right? He's
Yes.
attractive, which is a great testament, like you share about your home, the way
Mm-hmm.
you run your home with your husband. So we love it, and it's exciting. So, is there any last thing you want to say to the parent that's on the sideline that should get on that floor?
I would say to parents that when you're thinking about signing up your kids for martial arts, do not just focus on them learning to fight or learning to defend themselves. Yes, it's important, but what are the life lessons that will come from it? And if you're looking for a place to help them develop and own, not just develop, but be able to utilize their leadership skills, then definitely come to Sovereign Martial Arts. It doesn't have to be Rahway, it could be Belleville, it could be Howell. But speaking from my heart, I can say that I'm pleased. And you can ask anyone about my child who interacts with him. Like every child is not perfect.
Right.
No
Right.
human being is perfect.
Correct.
But he is definitely an example of a wonderful product that is blooming and continues to grow through the teachings and the mentorship of Sovereign Martial Arts. So
Powerful.
it's a win-win situation.
Powerful. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing, Miss Mel. This is
You're welcome, sir.
Houston's mom here. She's also a martial artist, like you heard. What a beautiful story. A lot of it I didn't know, and I'm so happy you shared it. And now I know you deeper, and I know your resilience, where it comes from, obviously. And thank you for sharing.
You're
What is
welcome,
really,
sir.
really good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.